It's the Masters Tour from Las Vegas, and we are amidst our 12th and final round of Swiss before we cut to our top 8. I'm at Sideboard, and joining me is America's Grandmaster Purple. Purple, this has been quite the tournament. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I went 3-3 out yesterday, and it's actually way more fun to actually watch other players struggle and deal with things than do it yourself. I'm enjoying being on the desk and not having the stress of competing.
How was the feel of the tournament overall for you? You know, playing Grandmasters and preparing for this tournament, I keep hearing that it's different. Talk to me about that.
Well, big open, playing against 2 people a week. You know, we're preparing like everyone else is, rather than preparing a particular match. So the decks and the sideboards are a lot different. Level of play though, these guys are pretty good. These non-grandmasters, they got some game. I got someone, actually, I forgot his name. I'm very sorry, whoever it was, but he outplayed me, and I was like, wow, this guy's good. I was like, I was very happy. I love it when someone's he just plays better than me. And I'm like, it's better than losing in any other way.
That's quite a big compliment.
Yeah.
I rarely hear that from you.
Yeah, it doesn't come up so much that someone just I think just straight up played better than me, and that came out this tournament.
Well, that's exciting to hear about.
Yeah.
We're speaking of exciting, we're going to be wrapping up our round 12 coverage that we have here. We have Balorix versus TechnoGoose. That's going to be coming up. Balorix from Denmark in this tournament, and has brought just good old Warrior with this one. Oh. Not Bomb Warrior.
Yeah, I've noticed a lack of bombs in his deck, but a couple of iron decals and some control tools. It's a fine deck.
Looks just pretty straightforward to me.
It's
good stuff.
Consistent, good stuff deck. The knock on it is there's no uber nut high roll curve out into Blastmaster Boom and win.
You don't have that automatic draw potential.
Right. So, but consistent, more consistent against aggro. A couple tech cards here and there for random matchups. Like Silence is just incredible in this current meta.
Kind of surprising to me that it's pulled out such a strong matchup, but he has run into TechnoGoose, who's from Sweden here, and quite a good matchup for Balorix, I would say. TechnoGoose has brought OTK Paladin to the table, and honestly, this was a cool talk for this tournament, and I think many players shied away from it because of the amount of Warriors that were showing up. But here we are, the final stages with TechnoGoose still in.
You kind of lose board to a 1-drop in the matchup, and then you can't get any chip damage in, and they just can armor every turn. And with Bomb Warrior in particular, and the controller too can just apply a bit of pressure. So two ends to win it for Warrior, and you really just need to actually get minions in play and start attacking with your Wall Fire Monsters and stuff in this matchup.
So how does that change when Balorix is on Control Warrior here instead of on Bomb Warrior? You don't have that pressure of drawing through your deck and taking too much damage as a result.
The kill-on plan is actually just not that important. You can safely get a range of just armor and just board control in general.
Just build a giant steel bunker around your face.
I think you can basically squeeze in an armor up every single turn of the game. Bunch of card draw in this hand. It's
this is a good hand.
If you're a combo player, this gets you excited. There's what draw Blood Mages 1, Acolytes 2, Christologies 2, Christologies 2 again.
Win Christology?
Yeah, I mean, we're halfway through the deck already. Let's go.
Now, Purple, I know that you're a huge combo player.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this deck and the importance of mana management, hand size management, etc.
You want that double Christology start. You want to go as fast as possible and just kind of jam and starting with the things that can actually get chip damage in. We don't need much more cards. We're going to weave in the Acolyte on 3 and the double 2 on 4. But the 1-2, the Kangor is a great start because, well, we can start attacking. And Shield Slam is a great response to this. This is a great play. Just protect that life total.
So every point matters. Fight hard for it.
Every point matters. And basically, the gist is it deals 50 damage, couple True Silvers, right? So 58, armor F 60. You got to click the armor up about 15 times. A bit less with a couple shield blocks and the Blastmaster for Dr. Boom, Mad Genius for a flash shield at the end. Yeah.
To kind of explain things, the whole point of the OTK Paladin here for TechnoGoose is you're going to draw through your whole deck. You play Shirvala as a free mana 7/5. Its initial cost is 25. You Baleful Banker, shuffle it back in. You rip Holy Wrath. With that as being the only card left in your deck because you've drawn the rest of it. It deals 25 damage with Holy Wrath that way. So the idea is you're going to one-shot your opponent, but against Warrior, they exceed the 30 life total. So that is a weird spot for TechnoGoose to be in.
We're going to two-shot our opponent.
Yeah, I mean this is pretty tough here. I think for Balorix.
And
I'm sorry for TechnoGoose here, where you know Balorix has clearly paid attention to just killing every single point of damage necessary.
yeah, really nice play last turn. Instead of playing the Acolyte, he played double 1 to try to just get 2 points of damage and Warpath meta. And just trying to squeeze an armor up every single turn is just correct for Balorix. And both players rapidly end up identifying what they need to be doing in the matchup. One person's trying to push damage with like 1/1s, and your guys are trying to kill 1/1s. So, an interesting dynamic, and this is what you do with True Silver in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty weird circumstance where if you're going to do that, it's pretty unusual to be in this position where True Silver, you really do not want to hit a minion with it. With Hammer Wrath, you really do not want to hit a minion with it.
Yep, and you want to get these True Silvers going as early in the game as possible because that's the least, it's the part of the game where it's least likely to get blown up by Hearthstone or weapons. There's 2 copies of Weapons Project, so this is actually pretty fortunate this first True Silver resolved in full.
Yeah, for Balorix, yeah, 2 copies of Weapons Project and 1 Harrison Jones. It shut down the Acolyte. It's got 1 job now.
It's actually interesting he didn't Militia Commander or Shield Slam. He's concerned about denying draw, but in terms of his overall life total, it was a slightly worse play for the turn. But an extra 1 less card means maybe 1 extra turn, which might mean 1 more armor up. So
yeah,
all in all, it's like pretty close as to what's actually correct here. And True Silver goes face, minions go face. TechnoGoose frickin' gets it.
Yeah. I mean, if you have enough experience on this deck, you've quickly realized, like, wow, Warrior does a number on this deck. And Weapons Project kind of suiting its secondary purpose here, where it's actually like the armor and offset of the opposing total that makes sense.
It's heal 4.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Heal 4 is a good card against a deck that's just trying to burn you.
That just seems so strange to me.
Unwilling to use the second copy of Warpath for the full clear here.
Yeah, kind of interesting to me as well.
I don't want to take that one, but later that one with some Wild Pyromancers, there are other minions in the deck, so you might just need it.
Can easily be 2, 3.
You can easily be 3.
Yep. It's little percentages for TechnoGoose. Honestly, the work is much more cut out, I think, for TechnoGoose than it is for Balorix. It's like playing like one of the bosses in like the Dalaran Heist, where it's just like you just have to deal this much damage in this amount of time.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, this is what Timeout does in this matchup. 3 mana, discard a card.
Yeah. It's like the old Freeze Mage mirrors where you're just launching blizzards into nothing, and you're just throwing Doomsayers down.
Oh. Probably about time to start launching some Hammer Wraths at the face here. On point. On point there.
Instantaneous. Just dunking them.
He gets it.
I love the animation of the sound of that card, just the thud.
I was pretty confident this was the play for this turn, but like, he was really confident this was the play for this turn. Jeez. Double hammer, 3-second reflection. Let's go.
Hey, I mean, look at that look on his face. He knows. He's like, oh, great. I just got to hit him in the face.
Oh, shield block? Oh, God.
Yes.
That just negated my double hammer wrap.
That's not a pretty sight. I mean, it is a weird game where literally the whole purpose for TechnoGoose is management of hand and mana and damage.
So ideally with this Wild Pyromancer, what you want to be doing is create a board state. You're hoping like the Warpath isn't there. We know it's there. But you want that Pyromancer to deal 3. So if it comes down, I would expect it to come down with Ziliax and like a dude. So that you have like, you know, you have 3 dudes. One of them might get it to attack. There's Devastators or Warpaths. Probably doesn't happen, but you have every opportunity to get a bit of chipping. The earlier, the better, because maybe those cards just aren't there.
Now, Purple, I want to ask you a couple questions about that, because setting up that you have a very narrow window for it. Is there any like tricks to setting this up? Like, is the Ziliax no attack here thing? Is this like the best go ahead?
Yeah, you
certainly situation like that?
You certainly don't attack here because you attack, you miss 2. You'd have to swing your weapon at the guy, and then you're maybe getting damage by protecting Ziliax by losing damage. And we always take our guaranteed damage because we kind of hope that maybe this gets a bit damaged. But Balorix, a few turns ago, was like, we're talking about that full clear of the Warpath. It's like, yeah, we saved 3 here. So
yeah.
he improved on the 1.
TechnoGoose has done a good job at pushing damage, though. You know, the fact that he's not against Bomb Warrior means that the minion threats from Balorix just don't add up.
Yeah,
so you're free to keep launching damage.
He really does not need to be playing any defense, which makes it, in a way, easier to manage the game. But it's still a difficult matchup, and he appears to have made hand space for his prismatic lens. We'll see what we can pick up here. Oh. Draw 2 more cards. Excellent.
Well, you got to swap the cost first. 2 to 2. To 2.
Massive high roll.
From 2.
And I would expect this flashlight to come down actually this turn for Wild Pyromancer, because then you get a 3-1. And the theme of the day is, let's try to attack with these Wild Pyromancers. You ever deal 3? Insane. I think wow, there's only 2 cards left. 36?
Yeah, so last 2 cards, Baleful Banker and Consecration, I believe. Have we seen a Consecration yet?
No, and there's 1 in the hand, so it's probably gone camp. So that's 4 more damage. And turn after 25 and then 25, so
honestly, like, I think TechnoGoose might have gotten there.
That's 54, right?
The coin Crystology, honestly, is partially what enabled this, too. And Balorix, he's recognizing he's desperate and trying to roll armor.
Yeah, he's saying that the 2 is not worth. We need to roll a bunch of 7s. So he does still have the Zilliax. So
43 life.
What's he going to want to be doing like next turn is get that Dynamatic in play. I'm out of cards. So that the Zilliax can get there. But is this just too quick?
I think it's too quick. I mean, 43 is the life total for Balorix right now. He doesn't have armor next turn.
And he heals 6 with Zilliax. So that's just game.
Oh my gosh. Just the quickness, the coin Crystology.
Yeah, he was halfway through his deck on like 4. He did really well this game.
Oh my gosh. You're not supposed to win this one.
Well, we're at 24 and we died. TechnoGoose pushed every point of damage available to him and got there.
There was not a single attack directed at a minion.
No.
And he still got 4 extra from the Consecrations.
He just didn't get confused. He went all phase. Excellent gameplay. Never trade. True Silver upstairs. It was just great game recognition by TechnoGoose. True Silver is as early as possible. Pyros and Zilliax can play as early as possible. Get every opportunity to push the damage.
This is crazy! I have won this matchup from the Paladin side what feels like about 3 or... Oh, now the armor... That armor, if that showed up on one of the first 2 rolls, that was over.
And important to note, like, he chose to go for the Blastmaster, or the Mad Genius hero power over the game 2. How impactful was that to the game?
So he would be at 1 right now.
He killed a minion with it, actually. So it really didn't matter.
Man, that's a weird spot. Either way.
The Blastmaster was great, I think.
That's a pretty crazy situation.
Tough game. For Warrior, your opponent just went too fast. Like, the objective was to gain 30 health, basically, and just 1 turn shy of it.
And that whole matchup has changed quite literally because of the buff to Crystology. You know, moving from 2 mana to 1 mana and Rise the Next.
It sped the whole game up 1 turn, which might, in this case, have been the difference between a win and a loss.
7 armor was sitting there.
If 7 armor was sitting there, even 2 might have been enough. Oh, there's a couple of conks left, but close game.
Wow, that's unreal.
Yeah. But Paladin's got to do real good stuff to win the matchup. And real good stuff happened for TechnoGoose here.
So taking a look at the side decks, I'm seeing a Kangor's Endless Army and Undertaker package built into the secondary deck.
How much more silence and, like, say, EMP operatives are available for the Warrior?
That's a good question. Well, we know that there's Silence's main from the Iron Beak Owls.
There's an Undertaker package, which probably won't be seeing, right?
Yeah, Undertaker package for
Warrior.
For the Warrior side on Balorix, which you know, I imagine is meant for slower matchups like mirror matchups and stuff like that. In this matchup, it literally is all about armor total and containing that.
So we can add a couple of big game hunters with deck 3. We can also pick up owls with Barista Legend.
Yeah, we're looking at TechnoGoose's deck there on screen, and I mean,
that looks like a scary deck. You do have 2 owls. You're gonna have to hit the Immortal Prelate and the Undertaker specifically, and just wrestle through all his value.
Wow. For Balorix, taking a look at what's available, I think you stick to the main deck on this one. I don't want to take out my weapons projects. I don't want to take out my Iron Beak Owls. Yeah, I think you just stick with the main.
I could see an argument for a secondary deck and try to be a bit more aggressive.
A little more pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure's definitely important.
if he's going to be doing that, he's going to be drawing through his deck a bit slower. And
With honor.
there's a chance that's correct. I haven't playtested enough of. I've playtested exactly 0 Undertaker Warrior, so I'm not entirely sure how much aggression you can actually get on.
I feel like it's much more about an inevitability engine.
I see a barista, so he liked that idea.
Yeah, so taking a look at the barista deck and seeing exactly what's in it. This is the tertiary deck for Balorix.
Big game hunters answer the whelps. And Travala.
It's a pretty nice call, honestly. Like if you anticipate TechnoGoose moving into mechanical whelp, you do want a way to answer it that is not an Iron Beak Owl.
Oh jeez, this 3-2 is so big right now.
Oh, it's gonna connect. Balorix had Shield Slam in game number 1. This does hamper a little bit of TechnoGoose if he wants to cast Crystology, but I guess you just don't mind that.
Yeah, that's a really weird spot where you're like, but you're pretty confident that your opponent has Militia Commander in his hand. The Town Crier means, well, 2/3 of the time he has it, and, well, he can draw Militia Commander. So
yeah,
it's there a lot, so maybe he just doesn't mind.
You got in your 3, so be it.
Yeah. You're happy you got in this 3.
Yeah, and I feel like you want to add the Crystal Smith Kangor for the same reason. The highest opportunity to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a worse board control play than Blood Mage. Yeah, TechnoGoose did not get confused. He had to act right to the face.
I'm learning about specifically Crystal Smith Kangor. I'm wondering if the Kangor is actually a call to the fact that there's no Bomb Warrior on the other side. Like if Balorix was playing Bomb Warrior, I have felt like Crystal Smith Kangor is actually pretty key in that matchup.
Oh, heal 8's very good. It negates like a bomb in a bit. Right?
Yeah.
And that's one disadvantage of playing Control Warrior is you're easily abusable because you can't apply pressure. So some key resources that TechnoGoose would normally need to hold on to are just being used as pressure.
I feel like we gotta play no Devastator.
He's playing a late game. And if he didn't play it now, I'm assuming he's probably not going to play it till turn 10.
And the Dynamatic then on the following turn, that would be a full clear here.
Yeah, it's pretty unlikely that, as ridiculous it is to say that Paladin probably can't add more than 2 health to the board. It's just completely accurate.
This particular Paladin that cannot, the biggest play to counter what Balorix had there would have been Acolyte of Pain, in which case we saw that Balorix was prioritizing Iron Beak Owl on the base of that.
You could have had another 3-2 and a 1-1. Massive high rolls here.
You got to coin out that 1-1 though.
And Hammer Wrap goes face.
Thud.
Wait, did TechnoGoose sideboard? I guess not.
Honestly, after game number 1, I don't see really a reason for him to. I think against Control Warrior, you don't need the additional stuff in deck because you're just racing the clock.
So,
and he knows the silences are there.
TechnoGoose won these mind games because Weapons Project came out on Balorix's side.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, there's like True Silvers going in and 6 armor first teal, like big deal. Advantage Paladin on the sideboard. I guess we'll refer to it as a mind game.
I feel like Big Game Hunter does not do anything, so
It kills Travala.
Is that really important? I mean, you got a lot of ways to kill Travala.
Well, sometimes you actually get enough health, and the Paladin needs to win by relying on getting one of these 2 Travalas at the end of the stack.
I hope you like
Can
my
come up.
invention.
It definitely can. I have never had that be successful. I play a lot of OTK Paladin. I like these weird underdog feeling decks.
And this was a good shrink ray by TechnoGoose. He's like at the point where he's like, yes, discard a card, but it actually did something. Wow.
Oh, the timeouts might gain a couple points of health here too.
Insane.
It's a race against the clock.
This is actually kind of good for Balorix in the sense that with just these 2 1/1s and a 2/4, it should basically guarantee that like Paladin won't be able to attack with a minion, like basically forever now. Just this little tiny board. That should guarantee you're not taking any chip damage. You can prioritize those arm ups.
That was something that kind of added up for Balorix at in last game. Was a lot of the mid game was occupied by having to spend all the mana.
Yeah, I mean Kangor's swung for an extra 1, and a Pyro got in this game. This is a big game. Big game for Paladin. Again, Consecrate did something in timeout. Oh, we're not exactly discarding card, but pretty close.
Setting up for Acolyte, I imagine.
Or
also prismatic lens room.
It's one or the other this turn.
So something that's interesting to note is the prismatic lens interaction with Shrivala, where you can strand a card in your hand sometimes. I feel like with 2 Holy Wraths in your hand, you don't even have to think about that with prismatic lens. It's like the most important facet is you cannot lock a Holy Wrath in this matchup.
Yeah, they're not a good card when they cost 25 to cast.
Yeah, you can't get 25 mana.
Yeah.
Not simultaneously, anyway. I've seen you get 25 mana, just not all at once. It's come in waves of 10.
Well, you draw 3 cards and they all cost 0. And here's the Omega Devastator. At this point, Balorix actually probably wants to make a tiny bit of hand space, so maybe like he's actually still not sure if TechnoGoose sideboarded. He probably should know, because well, you haven't seen the whelp, you haven't seen you haven't seen anything different, right? And he's hammer raffing you in the face.
Yeah, it depends on what comes out. So he saw Crystal Smith Kangor, which is in both ones.
He saw hammer raff. He saw a timeout. It's in both of them. Actually, he saw 2 timeouts this game, and 1 came out. So he should know for sure that it's deck 1 at this point.
Yeah, because it's never deck 3, given the context.
So at this point, what that means in my eyes is that this owl needs to come out so that we can get these assemblies out. Because assemblies are actually, they don't always gain armor, but sometimes you get a Zilliax, sometimes you get the 2/2, sometimes you get the 1/3. Just armor gain cards in terms of max. And great recognition. We need to get this man out of our hand.
Make space so you can spend cards.
And it's looking a lot better for Warrior this game. He's already at 42. And 7 cards still remain.
No True Silver's drawn yet, though.
Well, those take turns, which is the unfortunate part. That's 4 turns. We only have 6 cards left. I think you need to hammer wrap this turn to get the True Silver going. Or you can act like Elven Archer. That's fine too. Same odds of drawing True Silver. That's a True Silver.
That wastes my Elven Archer damage.
I was gonna make the same point. It's like, well, if you Elven Archer the Acolyte, you don't Elven Archer him. And
yeah.
We want Elven Archer him.
2 mana Consecration. Spend the most, deal the most.
4 mana Arcane Shot Phase.
Look, that was a 9 damage turn. That's big.
This True Silver, very important to pick up. Now it looks like, well, 8 more damage in True Silvers. Or 12 more damage in True Silvers. That's... What is that? Here comes...
Shut up, Militia Commander.
None of those gain armor.
War Gear deals damage, though. I'm curious, with both timeouts gone, do you have a pressure plan ever?
Not really.
Just too much stuff?
You can push 5 extra this turn, miss the armor up, but then you know you're getting shrink rate.
Yeah, then you're missing the armor up.
Yeah. So you take 2. You deal 5, but take 2.
So the War Gear and the Missile Launcher, they're more surprise factors.
Speak to me.
Surprise factors at first, but given TechnoGoose life total, I don't think that's going to matter. Also, like, at this stage of the game, the Shrivala is 0. It's going to come down, and it's going to heal him the full. So.
Oh, wow. Flashlight, too. So TechnoGoose can guarantee the hits next turn, but with the other True Silver in deck, he actually just might want more time. And so slowing it down to hope to draw True Silver so you don't set into fatigue helps you manipulate your life total to maximize your time.
It's an okay argument, but the counter argument to that is you're giving your opponent the chance to draw Shield Block, Zilliax, and Blastmaster.
Yeah.
Or, Mad Genius.
So the one caveat I'm looking at for there is that if you want to next turn, you can still launch a Holy Wrath. If you don't draw True Silver, you can then Flash a Light so that you can launch the double Holy Wrath back to back. Because you have 10 mana with the Baleful Banker.
I'm almost out of
Flashlight, and then also the card draw gets forced on the Acolyte. So I think the Flashlight was just pure liability.
Rover heals.
Ooh, that's big.
Oh, they can't attack. So not that big.
Well, what I'm looking at is Zilliax next turn with a War Gear. So that is a massive amount of health gain.
It is. So that would be heal 12.
My. If this True Silver damage ended up mattering, I'm going to be pretty shocked about that.
He could play around it by going Pyro Shrink Ray, but I have a strict policy of not playing around created by. Just let it happen, embrace it. He's gonna kill the one that heals his opponent rather than the one that deals damage.
Boom, you're at 10.
I'm out of
Ow.
cards.
Yeah, Balorix, I think, is in trouble again. I actually don't think that he can win from this spot. He can gain 7, 8, 9. Dr. Boom Mad Genius, that could provide maximum 14. Oh my gosh, he's just dead again. He actually does not have the life total to fight through this. So, wait, you can Zilliax and War Gear. I just talked about this. I'm so...
Well,
that's only 13. You're still dead.
Yeah.
12 even. Oh my gosh. How did this happen?
Well, I don't know anything about Hearthstone. Shirvala Paladin and it just gets worse. I don't know anything anymore, dude.
It just beat Control Warrior twice. That's not supposed to happen.
It wasn't particularly close either.
Not in the grand scheme of things. No, we have a True Silver still floating in hand.
Yeah.
This is thought to be like one of the toughest matchups.
It really is.
For OTK Paladin, because if the Warrior exceeds a certain life total, it just wins. However, most of the matchups we've seen of Warrior versus Paladin have been Bomb Warrior.
Game 2 is kind of won by the mind games into the sideboard, where one person moved Weapons Project to Big Game Hunter, right? Wow, what if we had a Weapons Project that game? Could we have gone there?
Oh,
Maybe, right?
Because you would cast him to override the first True Silver. That's 4 extra health right there. And then you have the 12 heal on the turn with the War Gear.
Absolutely.
And that keeps you alive.
And I think, like, that might just be the difference.
And
although, like, poorly sequenced deck in the Warrior side, right? Where if he could have gone that boom one turn earlier, then he was +7, and all of a sudden that turn he would have been fine. So, like, yeah, Paladin won actually close games, but just a couple of draws different, and Warrior just could have. The first game was really decided by like 1 point of health, right? So,
yeah.
Certainly, the cards are shuffled a tiny bit different.
I look at the pressure. I look at that Kangor instead of drawing the card on turn 2.
Yeah.
And causing an interaction.
It's just tempo good. It's just fundamental Hearthstone. Sometimes, like, you really forget these things when you play combo decks. You're like, oh, I'm just like an OTK deck, so I'm going to try to draw. Yeah, but get in your 1. It matters. Matters a ton.
It mattered a lot in that series. So that's a good job, TechnoGoose now, and that's just a darn impressive performance. Really understands the matchup.